this thing on? I don't know. I'm going to go with it. Hey, what's up? It's me, Animal. Only on Animal Expedition Files. See you there. Hey everybody, welcome to the Animal Expedition Files. I am your host, the Animal. Thank you so much. On a Saturday night, and it's raining out. So it's been storming all day today here in New England and all over the place. So, but it's good to be on dry live on the Animal Network. So, in Dark Realm TV, Roku, Amazon Fire. Can't wait to talk to my guests. It's going to be a really good night tonight. And hey, everybody, if you are watching, please, we'd love to see some comments here on the comment section and ask some questions to our amazing guests. The Creepy Shit We Talk About podcast. You don't want to miss out. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about creepy shit. You know, you never know what we're going to talk about. And maybe conspiracy theories, paranormal, Bigfoot, drama, you name it, we will talk about it. But yeah, also please like and subscribe on my show on YouTube, and also visit on animalexpeditionfiles.com. You could get all the cool merch, shirts, shoes, bags, candles, you name it, we have it. Posters, coffee mugs, any kind of mug. A mug that you could give to your grandma or an alien. I don't know. You guess. You could buy it. You could do it. So yeah, but please visit, support our show. That's how we survive. If you buy something from our merch, it helps the stream, it helps me, helps the show, and it looks cool on you. So can't get wrong with that. But we're gonna bring on our guests, and we're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna challenge them mentally, physically, and anything you could think of. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to stress them out a little bit. But no, we're going to have a good time. We're going to, just relax and pretty much shoot the shit. So let's bring them on. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, how we doing?
I was trying to challenge you guys, see if you guys were ready back there, and and kind of mentally prepare you for a show about just nonsense and just a lot of fun. You gotta have fun on the show. It can't be stressed out. There's too much stress in this damn world that we gotta worry about.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
But how are you guys doing? I mean, I know you're in New York right now, and I know the weather's kind of same like where I'm at in Rhode Island, but what is it up there right there right now, like the weather and what's going on up there? Well, down there, because yeah, wherever. Up there, down there, I don't know. Silence.
We just got through 3 days of the Canadian smoke coming down, affecting air quality, yellow skies, weird stuff going on, and we just had a thunderstorm roll through on us. So It's been weird the last few days.
Yeah, the fires have been weird. They've been kind of ominous. You get up and you look out your window, and it's like there's this hue, this pinkish hue color to the sky, and it sort of reminds me of one of those zombie eclipse movies, 28 Days Later. It's just a really eerie feeling. And then the air quality index is just really bad. So I find myself starting after 3 days of this, starting to get a little short of breath, on certain things. So it's like, I'm like, I hope it they burn down soon so we get over this. But
Jesus.
Yeah, it was weird. I was at work and it was like I was in because sometimes like in New Hampshire and stuff. I'll work way up in the mountains and stuff like that, and it looked like freaking an apocalypse. I'm like, is the world ending?
Yeah.
Does that mean that I don't have to work anymore and pay bills or anything like that? I mean, that'd be great. Is UFOs coming to abduct us? Like, I mean, the moon was like, the sun was red and everything. And I was like, damn, man, is this it? Are we done? I was kind of like happy for a little bit.
Yeah. It's some scary stuff, man, when you look out the window. Yeah. This is not the first time we've gone through this. This has happened a few times over the last couple of years. We've had this. But I like to spend all my time outside. So I've been breathing in a good portion of it for the last couple of days. So, man, it's been terrible. But enough of the doom and gloom.
I think we lost some. I think we lost one of our guests.
Yeah, he probably went Bigfoot hunting and just decided.
He probably did. He probably got abducted while we were talking about it.
The government found him finally.
He's like, oh, this is the true Bigfoot.
He's gone.
Well, anyways, while we're waiting for him, tell us a little bit about you guys. I saw you guys on Facebook and I really loved it. And tell us a little bit about what you guys do and how you guys. Oh, here he is. Hold on. Let's. I think he's here. Hold on. Oh no, it went on and off. So he's having issues. But while we're waiting for him, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys do and your guys' journey, how you got into the paranormal and the love of it.
Okay. Well, Travis is back, by the way.
I don't know what happened.
We thought you got abducted or something. We're like, I think
his face is not moving.
His face is not moving.
Well, he looks like that a lot.
Oh damn!
All right, so I'll give you the abbreviated, the abridged version of how this all started. So back in 2004, I became very interested in the paranormal, and what I do for a living is kind of unusual. I'm actually an agent, so I represent a lot of different talent across the country. And one of the things that I got into was representing people in the paranormal, paracelebs, working with many of the names that that you could spit off your tongue. I work with them, or actively talking to them, or I've worked with them in the past. So I bounced around a little bit, and hi Travis, and I started doing my own paranormal thing, right? And after a bit, I went out and I found a group, which I joined. And I tell people, if you really want to get into paranormal, join a group. And you can have, like, it's a collective of ideas, right? I learned stuff about equipment. I learned, people had connections and locations. So I got invested in a lot of different things. And then that group sort of imploded. And we started another group we call Agent Paranormal. It was off the premise that I'm an agent and I'm in the paranormal. So we called it Agent Paranormal. And then shortly thereafter that formation, a bunch of people joined, like Travis came on board. Some of our other friends like Kevin, who couldn't be here tonight, and Pete. And I've been investigating with Pete for many, many years. And so we had this group. We did a lot of events. We investigated a lot of locations. And we worked a lot of different paracelebs at certain events. And then last year or so, we decided we wanted to go down the podcasting route. So we started the Creepy Shit We Talk About as a collective effort of some of the core people. And we put a lot of time and effort into it and, base it off of a lot of our experience. We have tons of evidence of the paranormal, EVPs, we have video footage, photographic evidence. We've gone into the Bigfoot stuff. I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit later, but Travis and I did a Bigfoot investigation a year or two ago up in Whitehall, which is up in the Adirondacks, just before you cross over to Vermont. Heavily wooded area. As a matter of fact, Whitehall has a Bigfoot festival like every single year, based on a very famous sighting on, I believe it's called Abar Road, where there was sighted by, actually, I think it was a police officer that saw this large hairy thing leap across the road. So it's kind of in that Bigfoot playbook of famous, encounters. And Travis and I are both outdoorsy people. Travis more so than me, and so we wanted to kind of really get more into the to the cryptids and all the unexplained stuff going on. I think we've tackled ghosts and spirits and even dabbled a little bit with people who work in the demonology world. So it's time to get into the bigger scope, cryptids, UFOs, and some of our core group members are UFO people that are very knowledgeable in it. Unfortunately, couldn't be with us tonight. And so, we're fans. We're skeptics of some things, believers in others, and we're out there because we have a thirst for the truth. We want to know. We want to know what's running around in the woods. We want to know, is there actually alien life, right? And we want to know what happens when we die. Do we become a ghost? And we want to know, are there other levels of energy that are negative that can present themselves in this crevice? And another little quick note, just to not to toot my own horn, but just to let you know, I was working with Annabelle, the doll.
Wow.
So for last year, I worked with the Warrens group, and I was working with them on conventions. The Warrens had a Seekers of the Supernatural Paracon, which I helped them book the guests for a couple different years. Last year was in Gettysburg, or the year before last. No, it was last year, sorry. And so I worked with Annabelle. So I had a short duration of almost kind of being like Annabelle's agent, if you will. But of course, that progressed, and we all know the story, what's going on. The house sold, the Warrens' house sold. The items are going into a museum, I guess, now.
In Salem.
Yeah, and the people I work with they're really good people. The Warrens group that I work with. Amazing people. And unfortunately, the passing of Dan Rivera was a difficult thing for all of us involved with that.
Yeah.
So more so the group. I've known him for a shorter period of time, but he was a wonderful dude.
Wow.
So that's my abridged version. Travis, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I really didn't have any huge paranormal experience when I was a kid. I didn't live in a haunted house. I dealt with a little sleep paralysis when I was a late teenager, and just some weird stuff, but nothing, My mom was always very supportive, though. She would give me the Time Life books and all of that. Funny story is her best friend at the time was named Mary Lou. Used to get all the stuff and give it to my mom, and then my mom would let me read it. We'd share books back and forth. Years later, found out one of the members of our group, Peter, it ended up being his mother-in-law. We didn't know that coming in until I got talking to him. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I've known your mother-in-law, I've known your wife pretty much for my entire life. So,
wow.
A little synchronicity there. But yeah, like Rich said, I came on board. Friends of mine, Chris and Vicky, had met Rich. They actually did a local newscast. They were trying to get something like a Halloween paranormal special going. So that's how they met. Then I kind of came in. They said, "Hey, you want to go to an investigation?" I'm like, "Absolutely." Jumped on, and not quite day one, but like day two, and we've been rolling together ever since. And it's been awesome. Like I said, Rich said he knows a lot of people. He's introduced us to a lot of people. We've had the opportunity to work with, like Sherry Benedetti, Brett Griffith, met Jason Hawes and all those guys. So it's been a pretty cool ride. Then as Rich kind of touched on, you know, I'm kind of grew up in the woods, outdoorsy guy. Rich is too, and so it was like a year and a half ago. I said, hey, you know what? I really want to go up to Whitehall. I've been to the Sasquatch Fest up there, and it's awesome. I've been a couple years. It's September 26th this year, if anyone's interested, up in Whitehall. And we went up there, and it was great. We spent the night. We had some, you know, weird things happen, like Rich was talking about earlier. You know, we actually got a wood knock. We also had weirdest thing I've ever had happen in the woods was owls surrounded us. There was about, it sounded like 5 or 6 owls, and they were just hammering.
Funny you say that. Wow.
Yeah. It was, I mean, and they were like, you could hear them moving. You know, you'd hear one.
Yeah.
You know, 60 yards to your left, and there'd be a response 40 yards to your right. You know,
Mm-hmm.
north, south, east, west. It sounded like 6 of them, and they were moving all around us.
Dang.
And then right before dawn, like, you know, it was starting to get light. I was sleeping in a hammock. Rich was in a tent. And this big old tree fell right toward my head. You know, it would have been north, but it was sounded like it was like 50, 60 yards away. But you could hear it crunch right down, which is weird enough, right?
Yeah.
Then, so I'm like, Rich, did you hear that? He's like, well, yeah, kind of. And then, like, not even like 2 minutes later, another one fell, but this one was toward my feet. And it was by where we parked down the trail. It was, you know, probably a natural explanation for it, but it was still, you know, you're on hypervigilance, and you have stuff like that happening all night. It opens your eyes a little bit.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. Before I ask you this question, the whole owl thing, I did an investigation with a group of guys in Massachusetts, and we had the same exact experience where we would hear owl sounds, but then owl sounds became into whooping sounds. And there was like, it was weird. It would happen in one spot, and then it would happen back of us, then the left of us, and then the right of us. And it would just happen like in all different areas of the woods. And it sounded like they were like close and far and stuff. And it would like train from back and forth from owl sounds and whooping sounds. And it's funny you say that, because like it's weird. It's like, holy crap. It's like, are owls, is something connected with owls and Bigfoot, you know?
Yeah, I mean, in some of the research I did afterwards, allegedly that Bigfoots will use different animal sounds.
Yeah.
Owls, like a coyote howl or an owl hooter. We didn't hear the whooping part of it, but the fact that we were surrounded for an hour or two, you know, and they were moving around the whole time. They were hammering off the whole time where they were there, you know, for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it was, you know, it was pretty cool. But at the same point, like I said, we're in the middle of the woods. We hiked back in, you know, we had a little fire, and we're just sitting around and going, all right, okay. You know, it's
you're like, what are you? Where are you?
Yeah.
Do I gotta crap my pants right now, or?
Well, it doesn't help when Travis is out there doing Bigfoot yelps and whoops. I'm like I mean, it was because where we camped for the night, it was primitive camping. We just found a spot in the woods and camped far back in. I mean, we weren't near a road or anything, but it wasn't the same location that we did the investigation. That was, you had to come out, go down the highway a bit, and then go back up a whole nother road that went way up back into the woods. And it was raining, and it was dark, and the vegetation where we did our investigation was thick. So there was, you know, if there was people or something going on, you would have known, you know what I mean? And we were up there for quite a while in the rain, you know, listening and doing knocks and whoops and everything. And, you know, Travis brought a parabolic mic, which I thought was a great idea. And he's like, dude, I'm hearing something on this thing. I'm like, let me listen. And it sounded like an animal grunt. I mean, it actually was an animal grunting. I mean, it could have been a raccoon, it could have been a bear, you know, it could have been fisher cat, a lot of different things up there. But it was interesting that picked that up, you know. And he was like, oh, that's cool. You know that there's nature up in here. There's wildlife. But probably the strangest thing, was the tree knock. We heard a tree knock back, and that was not like near us. It was off in the distance. But how many acres is that up there of just thick, dense wood?
Oh, it's thousands of acres. It's it's very dense.
Wow.
Adirondack. If you've ever been to Adirondacks, you know it's oak growth forest, so nothing, you know. And where we were is kind of an open field with the undergrowth was almost as tall as we were. You know, it was a little spot, you know, where we parked and went off and with our equipment, and just the ravines and the rocks, and it was true wilderness. But yeah, it's thousands of acres of, and that's why they say Whitehall does have a population of Bigfoot. Is they have a place to hide.
Yeah. And then we heard the weirdest thing, which was like it sounded like a piano, a very fine-tuned like piano wire going ping. And I still to this day have no idea what that was. Was it an animal or whatever? I mean, to me, it's unexplained. I'm not saying it's a Bigfoot. I'm just saying I have no idea what that was. It was still a little bizarre.
It could be paranormal too if you think about it. It's the woods, so it could be anything.
Yeah, it's and there is not near really where we were, but there's the I think it's called the Skane Manor, and that's supposedly haunted. I've never been there myself, but it's pretty cool. It's up on the cliff when you go to the Woodhall Festival or Whitehall Festival. Sorry, you can see it up on the cliff, and they do like ghost hunts and stuff there. So there is paranormal stuff up there, like you said. You know, it could have been something paranormal, but it was just anomalous, right? It was just we had a lot of cool stuff happen in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And we found out the next day one of the locals was riding a UTV as we were walking out. You know, where'd you guys camp? We're like, oh, up there in the rocks. He goes, oh, you see any rattlesnakes? Like, what? He goes, oh, yeah, that place is full of rattlesnakes. He's like, I got them all around my camp. You got to be careful. You turn over a rock, there they are. We're like, yeah, no. It was.
Wow.
We should probably research where we camped a little bit better, but.
Well, the guy was really cool. He's like, hey, yeah, next time, just you guys can use my camp. I'm like, you have a camp out? We're in the middle of nowhere, right?
Man.
Yeah, you got to go through this gate. There's a gate there.
Yeah.
And then I guess you drive out. I don't know how deep back there. There's like a small lake, and he's got a camp on there, completely completely off the grid. So, I mean, look cool, dude. Thanks. I almost asked him, "Have you seen a Bigfoot up around here at all?" But
yeah, we debated that. Like,
we just became friends, so I'm like, I'll leave that for another day. The rattlesnakes was interesting enough.
Oh man, I don't know if you ever watched the show Yellowstone. I remember in one scene, where one of the I can't remember her name, but she was sleeping, and all of a sudden, a rattlesnake and Rip had to grab it from her. I think it was like on her body or something like that, and he grabbed it by his hands and threw it and killed it. I'm like, dang. I couldn't imagine that, like just sleeping in the woods, and all of a sudden I have a freaking rattlesnake wrapped around my leg.
Well, I hate snakes and spiders. Actually, I hate spiders. I hate spiders more than snakes. Spiders are just,
or roaches are not bad.
Depends on how big they are.
You get a lot of that in Florida, though.
Oh yeah, they're as big as kittens down there. But man,
they're freaking like eating testosterone or something like that.
But you know, Travis and I, you know, it's interesting when Travis joined our group. Again, you mentioned his friends at Chris and Vicky, who are great people, part of our group as well. And he just kind of fit in. It was kind of like one of those things where a lot of times if we're going to bring someone in a group, we like to kind of have a meeting and discuss it so everyone has input. And Travis was just like he had us at hello, you know, it was just fit in, you know. But we as a group, including Travis, we've investigated a lot of different like haunted locations. I mean, I've investigated all across the country. And Travis came aboard with us. And it's interesting when we go on an investigation, most of us bring our own equipment, some stuff, right? I bring maybe a duffel bag full of things, probably more than I need. Travis comes in with those foldable, collapsible wagons that you can pull open.
Yeah.
He comes in there with those with Pelican cases.
Oh,
He's
man.
got every paranormal toy. But this is good because as investigators, we're supposed to try things out.
Yeah.
See if they have merit or not. And so a lot of people are too scared to buy this stuff or, whatever, don't have the budget for, whatever the reason is. But Travis gets it and we test it. So it's awesome. So now we know what things are kind of cool and they work and what kind of things are kind of still experimental, if you will, right? But we've done some pretty wild places in the paranormal. We've probably done I don't know, I've been involved in probably 50, 60, 70 cases.
Wow.
Maybe more, quite honestly. There was a time when the paranormal stuff was very, very active, as you can imagine. Back in the days when Ghost Hunters was on, we were getting calls off the hook.
I love that show. Ghost Hunters was the show to watch.
Oh, yeah. Everyone wanted to see if their house was haunted, right?
Yep.
So they would call paranormal groups all the time.
And
then when COVID kind of came, we as a paranormal group were like, well, we got to do something. We tried to do some smaller events and investigations. So we started a show on a network called Disruption Network, which was it was actually a streaming show called Agent Paranormal. And they were the studio we produced the show in. And we did that for a bit. We had all kinds of guests on our show. Everyone from Heidi Hollis, Dustin Pari. We had the Moons, Chris and Paulette Moon, and others. And we did well with it. But COVID got the best of us because people wanted to they wanted to do something, but then they didn't want to. So we sort of took a hiatus on the show. And then eventually we wanted to get back to what we love to do, and that's share our experiences and talk about it with people like you and your audience. And that's when Travis called me up and he was like, hey, you want to do a podcast with a group of us? And I'm like, yeah, what you got in mind? So we met for drinks and the creepy shit we talk about was born.
Yeah.
And Travis has been our spearhead, with all the good social media stuff and, putting together the episodes and things like that. And it's so much fun to talk about this stuff and share it with people,
It's awesome. I always joke around. It's funny talking about bringing stuff to to investigate. Now that this whole diarrhea thing is going on, I was thinking about what if we brought Taco Bell to an investigation and left it on a tree stump for Bigfoot, and then you would hear diarrhea sounds in the wood, it's Bigfoot.
Could you imagine hearing that on the parabolic mic out in the woods?
It would be horrible because you probably hear Bigfoot actually speak in a different language.
All I can think of is that movie. What is it? Not Another Teen Movie? You saw it. The girl's in the toilet and the guy's up in the ceiling. Let's just say she had a little touch of Taco Bell. Oh God!
All I was thinking about in that part is Dumb and Dumber. Remember when Harry was on the toilet?
Yes, on the toilet. Yeah.
There's shit everywhere.
Somehow everything goes back to bathroom humor. It always does.
It's always funny. It's always funny.
Always good. Always good.
Someone was just asking, are you guys going to Gettysburg Bash the 24th and 26th?
Not the Bash, but we will be at the Parajam. So that's late August. We'll be there. So the Bash is very hard to get into. We actually have a booth at the Parajam.
Yeah.
Trying to promote the podcast. And, our one member, Pete, is friends with a lot of the people down there. He actually donated a bunch of stuff to the orphanage down there.
Oh, wow.
So he's tight with them. So he's actually trying to get us in for kind of a private thing. I don't know if that'll come to fruition or not. But Pete actually at one time he's called the paranormal historian for a reason, right? At one time he actually was studying to be like one of the docents down there at the Gettysburg museum and stuff, and that's like very intense. Like you can't just be one. You have to like pass all these tests and learn the history and stuff. And he knows the history.
Yeah, it's just Walt Disney World. I mean, it's like people like, oh, I want to go to Dominican Republic, or oh, I want to go to Hawaii or whatever vacation. Pete, I'm going to Gettysburg. He just loves it down there.
Yeah, it seems like he's down there every month. Like every month, he's like, oh, I just got back from Gettysburg.
If he had his choice, he would be there every month. He just loves the whole history of it, and he's got all kinds of historical relics. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Travis. Maybe not so much as he used to, but he's got a lot of Civil War stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, tonight he's doing an actual lecture, Civil War history, up at the Woodgate Rec Center.
That's
up in the Adirondacks, up in Woodgate, New York.
Yeah. Local Civil War history. Yeah, he's very knowledgeable in the.
That's awesome. Let me ask you guys this about Bigfoot. Let's go back to the Bigfoot whole lore and everything like that, because everybody is always debating about, is Bigfoot an actual animal, or is it a spirit, or is it UFO? Because there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about that. Is alien actually Bigfoot? Is it an owl? Is it some type of animal, or is it just spiritual because of it disappearing? It's fast, you don't see it, or if you do see it, it disappears quick. So I want to get you guys' take on that.
Short answer, yes. No, like my opinion, I've done a ton of research. So is Rich on Bigfoot, and you're right. There's correlation with UFO sightings and Bigfoot sightings. There's a lot of correlations with it being a spiritual animal, an actual animal. I personally believe it's an actual flesh and blood animal. I think it's very rare. I think it's like an apex type predator with human-like intelligence, and that's why we haven't really found it. I think it varies. I think that's, you look at, say, a black bear in New York State. They're around. People see them all the time hunting, but you really got to hunt for them, right? And how many people really find dead bodies of black bears in the woods? You don't, because,
nope.
They tend to crawl up and they die in crevices or caves, whatever, where people don't go. That's my personal opinion, and I've read all the interdimensional beings, UFOs, spiritual animals. I always go back to First Nations. A lot of the First Nations tribes, a lot of their spirit animals, if you will, are all based on a real animal. You have the Thunderbird is based off an actual animal. Brother Beaver and Brother Bear, and all these different animals are based off real actual animals. And then you have the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch. So I look at the historical accounts like that, going back thousands of years, prehistory, and I 100% believe it's a real animal. I just think it's exceedingly rare and probably getting rarer, as we encroach more and more on its habitat.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I still think it's the Gigantopithecus, and essentially, it's a human type creature with a high level intelligence. I think it's nomadic. I think it can move around, or has a very large, say, hunting area that it sort of roams around on. And we're getting more and more footage because it's like Travis said, a bear. I've been up in the Adirondacks since I've been a little kid. I've never once ran into a bear. Never seen a bear, right? I have friends of mine who have hunting license to hunt bear, to get a bear. They've never came across one. Yet, I went to the dump one time at one of the state parks one night where all the dumpsters are, because it was a place where people would go, and there's the bears. So why couldn't something that, with probably amazing intelligence for being a wild creature, animal, great vision, great hearing, smell, all the senses that animals seem to have to develop to survive in the wilderness. And people are like, well, how come I don't see them? Because honestly, it knows you're there. It knows you're coming, right? It's like when we go camping in the woods or whatever, the most dangerous and the weirdest thing in the woods is us. All the animals, that's their home. All the smells, the sounds, the predators, it's all normal for them. We come in, it's like, what is this? I mean, we're sort of, if you want to look at it, is we're trespassing on their environment, So, but again, if you go back and think about like all the blurred pictures that people took, if you go back to the Patterson Gimlin film, I think it was, that wasn't too grainy. I mean, that was amazing footage for its time with the camera that was used. But I think that a lot of people take these with pictures of cell phones, and they're hairy, they're dark, and it's tough to get the contrast between the background that they're in or the trees and all that stuff. So they all come across as looking just like dark blotches, But I mean, if there's anyone that's on the internet looking for new Bigfoot evidence, it's me. I'm all the time looking for stuff. And I think it's getting better and better. I think as man's growing its footprint into the environment, more and more encounters are starting, right?
Yep.
And more attention is being given to this. And I now think it's just become down to a matter of time before one is actually found, dead or alive. So, and then of course people are always like, well, how come nobody shot one? Well, I think we all know the answer to that. Being outdoorsmen, would you want to pull your gun and shoot something that looks like a human? What if it's a guy in a gorilla suit?
Yeah, you're right.
That's called murder.
I'll also touch on the conspiracy theory aspect of this.
Yeah.
The government knows that they're there, and they cover it up. Why? Well, probably because they don't want people to know about a very rare, very endangered species, and then everyone's going to want to go out and try to get one. Everyone wants a Sasquatch skin cap or whatever. So I do believe the government does know about it, and I do believe that they cover it up.
Well, do you think just like how the whole Area 51 thing, where they say they have like the Roswell spaceship, and now there's like things coming up where they have aliens locked up in cages and all this stuff. Do you think they would do that the same with a Bigfoot? Do you think they would like have a Bigfoot somewhere in back there?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. If you look at all the stuff they do, I'm sure there's somewhere out there, some remote, base that they have in Alaska or wherever, the Pacific Northwest, where they have a secret base where that they have, specimens locked up, or at least dead ones that they they study. I mean, again, going down the rabbit hole here, I don't put anything past the government. They
nope. Nope. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, well, there is, and I've heard this from many people, that there is a UFO Bigfoot connection, right? And I'm still looking into that, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could see it happening. I mean, if they're studying humans, why wouldn't they be studying something like that looks like a human, walks like a human, much bigger than a human, so why not? But even people that I don't know will come up to me and they'll be like, you're into the Bigfoot stuff, right? I was reading a thing about UFOs and Bigfoot, have a correlation. So people are seeing this information out there online, and they're starting to now see, wow, this is a double whammy. It's like Bigfoot and UFO working together. So it seems like more people are getting interested in this, and they're asking me questions, and I'm like, I don't really know. I'm hoping that there is a breakthrough on that at some point to share. I mean, that would be amazing. I mean, enlighten us if you have other research.
Well, if you think about it, like 10 years ago, like Bigfoot and UFO, just UFOs alone, like we're not taught. If you were like a paranormal person or a ufologist or anything like that, you'd be made fun of. But going to today, like people are like, oh my gosh, I got a story for you. Like, this is awesome. Like, and now all of a sudden the news is out, and like there's like 80 different species out there, and we have their weapons, and there's so many crafts out there. There's whistleblowers, there's this, there's that. And now like Now, like, you became from a nerd to like a superhero of all these things that people made fun of you for. You know, it's just very interesting how the past 10 years has grown where like people believe in ghosts now and all that stuff. Like I did a Paracon that wasn't had to do with any paranormal stuff. And I was the only ghost guy there, and people were like, "You do paranormal stuff? Oh, I got a story for you. I got a ghost.
Oh yeah,
My house is haunted. I saw a Bigfoot." You know, it's just amazing though that like is it what like I don't know if you have like noticed that in the past 10 years, but like how things have just changed.
Well, look what the government did with Project Blue Book, right? That was the most secret thing they did. They released it, and no one really paid attention to it. The government came right out and said, "Oh yeah, UFOs are real. Yeah, they're not of this earth. They've never said they're extraterrestrial, interdimensional, whatever. They just said they're not of this earth. They admitted that. It's just beyond our technology. There's no way we could." And everyone just like, whatever. You know, oh, Biden had his laptop stolen. What's on that? They were more interested in those stories, which I think were released on purpose at the same time to take away from the declassification of like Project Blue Book.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I sometimes wonder, you know, when we do paranormal investigations and we're doing spirit box stuff, right? And people are like, "Oh, they want to make you think you're talking to ghosts, right? Must have been someone who was here a long time ago. You're dead. You're connecting with them." And sometimes I think to myself, are we really talking to ghosts, or are we talking to something in a different dimension, or something in a different time set? You know what I mean? It's like, why do we always have to think we're talking to a ghost? You know, because sometimes we'll talk to stuff and we'll get answers. It's like, that was weird. You know, it's like we've even asked questions during our spirit box sessions about what dimension are you in. We just really started getting creative in our question sessions, and we've had answers back like the 6th dimension, the 7th dimension, the 11th dimension. These are answers that we were getting back on our spirit box from, you know, whatever, whoever. And yeah, I mean, that's, you got to think, like, are we actually connecting with something else? You know, like, you know, could it potentially be alien? But I remember one time we did an event, Travis, I don't know if you remember this. There was a guy there that said he spoke alien, and he said he could communicate with the beings that we were talking to in our spirit box. And we're like, go for it, dude.
yeah.
And I wanted to sit down and crack open a beer and like, oh yeah, this is going to be really interesting, right? Being cynical about the whole thing, right? And then until something started talking back, then it was a whole different game, right?
Yeah.
But he was talking very odd, and yeah, I didn't really hear anything come back through, at least that I noticed. So weird.
Man. Speaking about the paranormal, what was your most crazy experiences in the paranormal when you guys go on investigations?
I've got a whole handful of them. It's tough to pick out
the
makes the most sense.
So
Travis, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'll start. We were kind of local. We were with Brett Griffith doing an investigation, local place. They called us last minute. They called Rich actually last minute. Hey, can you get your team together? We really want a local team here to investigate with us. It was going to be a pilot for a show. Like, yeah, sure. So we went for a 2-night investigation. I won't say the name of the place because they've had some falling outs, and there's 2 owners. One wants to do it, the other doesn't. So I won't say the name of the place. But it was the most activity I have ever seen. We were getting all kinds of stuff there. At all our, our spirit box sessions, we were getting like automatic answers. We were seeing things. Rich came running out of a room. F that! I'm not staying in there. He saw a face come out of the wall and walk toward him. We had one of our members, Pete. His voice came through on my spirit box in reverse. And you know how spirit boxes work. It's just a scan, of AM, FM radio. It was his voice in reverse. We still haven't deciphered it. We ran through everything we could to see what it was saying, but it was talking in reverse. And Rick Griffith was just screaming, "That's his voice coming out of that box." I'm like, yeah. In fact, it sounds so much like Pete. I didn't even really pay attention because I was filming, and I just thought Pete was talking. It was background noise to me at the time, until I looked over and Pete had this like look of horror on his face, like that wasn't me. Yeah, but this place was off the hook. We did a 2-night investigation there, and the long history locally of it being haunted, and it was pretty amazing. And that was probably the most active place I've personally ever been to.
Wow.
That's crazy, man. I mean, I saw that head first. I saw the head the first time. Then I saw when I went back in that room, I saw the body come out of the wall without the head, and I'm like, okay, I'm
the headless ghost.
So I'm gonna go back and hang with the rest of the guys.
That was actually the first time I ever saw Rich running out of a room.
Yeah. So, I think the craziest thing that ever happened to me was actually being attacked. So I actually got attacked, if you will, not in the sense of like physically assaulted, but in the sense of like almost like spiritually assaulted or energy assaulted, whatever. Every once in a while, I did investigations with pretty powerful psychic mediums. And when you do an investigation with a psychic medium that's really, true blown, there's some weird, funky energy going on with that. They're tapping into things, whether they know it or not. And then we did the Hinsdale house. And,
I've been there.
Yeah. So we're doing the Hinsdale house. I'm upstairs in the room with Chris Moon, right?
Yep.
And Dee Garcia. Two pretty, my experience anyways, powerful psychic mediums.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking to something that's coming through. And, we're told not to antagonize anything, right? We're just, questions and answers, right? And so I decided to antagonize it. And I said, do you want me to call a priest and come over here and do an exorcism on you right now? And I remember Chris Moon looking at me, and I could just see his face off the glow of the light coming through the window. He's like, dude. I'm like, oh, that's just a question, right? So the night went on as usual, right? And we thought we connected with this spirit that we connected with at a couple different locations. Kind of a bad spirit. We called him Klaus, and he wasn't a good spirit at all. So later on, when we got blessed down and everything, and we saged and we left for the night. And I remember saying, I don't feel good. I just don't feel right. And my back started aching, my lower back. And we went back to grab something to eat, and I just lost my appetite. I didn't really eat anything. Went back to the hotel room and crashed for like 4 hours. And then for the next day, I was like sick. Like I had like flu symptoms, like just fatigued and sick and achy, and just I felt weird. But I didn't have like any kind of like respiratory problems or anything like that. So I made a few phone calls to the people in the paranormal community that I know that have been worked in this realm, and they said that essentially what happened is I got zapped. I guess zapped is the technical term, right? But essentially, that spirit had enough power to knock my energy aura off, and that's why I felt completely off. And so I had to do a grounding ritual. So it was a beautiful summer day. I got off the couch because that's where I was laying. I didn't go to work. I just felt terrible. And I went out on the lawn. And of course, you got, take your shoes and socks off, stand out there barefoot, connect with the ground, grab a tree, I guess, right? Hold your arms out. And I just kind of like, did a couple prayers they told me to say. And I remember I was listening and I was hearing a lawnmower in the background, and all of a sudden I heard the lawnmower stop, and of course I opened my eyes, and it was my neighbor, and he's just like looking at me. He's like, Rich, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just enjoying life, dude. Just enjoying life. He's like, all right, you do you. And the lawnmower started, and he just went on and did his thing. But I remember thinking to myself, nothing happened. I went back, laid down on the couch, fell asleep, woke up like a half hour later. I felt brand new. I felt like, wow. I felt so good. I got in my car, went to Burger King, and got a Whopper with cheese and a vanilla shake.
I know, like if I had Burger King, I'll be like, I'd be from being made nude to not new again after that.
I just felt like I was so depleted.
Yeah.
You know? And that
Oh.
sugar and the grease and the cheese and
Yeah.
the
You'd be
beef.
depleted.
I felt like a new man. But I learned a lesson that day. Don't mess or antagonize with things you don't understand.
No.
You know? Never did that again.
Speaking about you talking about that, I know we only have 10 minutes left, but I want to go into the whole Annabelle, because you said you worked with Annabelle, and I want to know your experience with Annabelle, because I know there's a lot of theories out there that it's with them moving the doll all over the place and touring around, and Ed Lorraine says don't move the doll, and I want to get your take on what your experience with Annabelle was.
Well, I had a meeting at the Warren's house, at Ed and Lorraine's house. So I went out the night before and met up with Chris, with Warren's team. And the next day we had a meeting, talk about the event that we were doing, that I was working for them for, at Ed and Lorraine's house. Ed and Lorraine's house is like a time capsule. You walked in, it looked like, like your grandma's house. It had that olive green or avocado green, colored appliances. The phone was on the wall. It had a very peaceful, wood paneling, very peaceful type thing, like in a street, dead end street with woods all around it. Yeah. And so I said, I got to see the museum. I want to see the museum because it was attached to the house. So I went into the museum, and I've got so many pictures. I took of me in front of Annabelle and all the different things. And I remember I went into Ed's office, and I sat down in his chair, and he had his reel-to-reel recorders there, and there's some books. They gave me some books to take, which I have here in my office. And I remember before I left that Wade, one of the team members there, made sure that he blessed me, holy water, and blessed me, the whole thing. So I'm thinking, okay, that's great. It was really cool. I put pictures on Facebook, got to share, I got home, and for about 3 nights or so, I felt like I was being watched. Yeah. I would just wake up out of sleep, and I felt like there was something next to me. And then I would fall back to sleep, and I had these terrible dreams, horrible dreams. And finally, after 3 nights of that, I called them and I said, dude, what is going on?
Yeah.
Right? And they said, well, tell me. And I told them, and they go, wow, so you only had it for 3 nights? I go, yeah, so far. And they're like, okay, well, then usually people experience worse than that. And I'm like, oh, boy, okay. So,
thanks for the heads up.
Yeah. So, but that was in the museum, in that house, right? I've been around it plenty of other times at conventions, like Gettysburg, Scarefest, and stood next to it, nothing. I don't know. Maybe it was just that spot with all those items in there, because there was a lot of their haunted stuff in there.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's A plus B plus C plus C equals horrible, terrible energy.
Yeah, energy. That's it exactly. You said, you got your energy knocked off at Hinsdale. If it's sitting there with all that stuff, all that energy it can draw on. It's all about energy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, I've been around it a lot of times, and outside of that, and took people into the museum and to give them tours and stuff when we were in Scarefest, and that was fine, But again, everyone has to come to arrive at their own opinion of what it is they think it is. That was just completely my experience. You know what I mean? So the stuff was really cool to see. I mean, if you're into the paranormal, it's part of Americana,
Yeah, I would almost want to experience it myself, almost just to be around it, to see the energy and stuff,
Well, when they open up the museum, I highly recommend people go check it out. It is pretty cool. Travis has been in there, the one in Gettysburg.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we went to the Paracon there. Well, once in the Mohegan Sun, actually. Once in the Mohegan Sun, once in Gettysburg. Yeah, if you got a chance to tour the museum, there's a lot of. I think there's a doll there that's way creepier than Annabelle. There's I forget which one it is. She's black. An older, just disfigured looking doll.
I just don't like dolls at all.
That one gives me worse.
Creepy.
Yeah. But like Annabelle's not scary to look at. It's like a Raggedy Ann doll.
It's just a Raggedy Ann doll.
Right. If
Yeah.
you were gonna give someone a doll that you wanted to curse, why would you give this scary, creepy looking doll to begin with? People would be like, I don't want that thing in my house.
Yeah.
So you give it,
no, you give it something
innocent
peaceful.
little Raggedy Ann, man. It's like, yeah, here you go.
I don't know. I don't like dolls as it is. So
No, not a fan either.
Action figures. I'm an action figure guy, you know.
Yeah. I'll never forget. I interviewed somebody. They have a whole bunch of haunted dolls in their house, and I'll never forget when I interviewed them. I saw a doll move, like literally, like its head went like this, and I'm like, "Yeah, nope." I had to turn around, like, because I was like, "Nope." I can't do this. I don't like dolls. I know what happens in movies, and I'm like, this is bad. I've seen Chucky too many times.
Yeah, I know how that one ends.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, no, it's the paranormal is just, you know, I don't know if I'm dismissing it, but it, you know, outside of like, oh my God, it's terrifying. It's exciting. You know, it just, I mean,
oh yeah,
it really is kind of a cool thing to rush out of it, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So speaking about having fun and stuff like that, have you had any like funny like moments in the paranormal, like something stupid or funny? And you're like, what the heck? What the heck? Like,
yeah.
Tell me your funniest moments in the paranormal.
Go ahead, Travis.
Well, it's Pete's story, and I won't do it any justice, but it's like the best story. They were doing an investigation in this. What was it? It was like a old boys' school or something. And they had done like haunted houses there, you know, to earn, you know, for fundraisers or whatnot. So he gets called to the basement. He goes into the basement. He's walking around. There's body parts everywhere, arms, legs, heads. Well, it's all the props from this haunted house. He's like, oh, whatever. Yeah. Then he hears something. And he goes, what was that? He turns around to look what it was. A bat flew into his mouth, like right into his mouth. And he goes, and it sat there for a second, and it flapped its wings and hit his nose.
Almost like an Ozzy moment.
Yeah. He turned around, and he was taking the stairs like 3 at a time. One of the members was there and just happened to take a picture as he was running at them. And we have this awesome picture of him just in this abject horror on his face, screaming, running by him to put boiling, scalding hot water in his mouth to wash it out. And then like a year later, we went back, or no, 10 years later, I apologize. They went back to the same place to do a lecture, and a bat was flying around. So they have a video of Pete hiding under all the chairs and tables.
10 years later, he's like,
yeah.
Nope,
he goes, there's a bat in this place. A freaking bat. Are you kidding me?
Probably the same bat.
Yeah, remember.
He's like, I'm back.
Have you ever been on one of those investigations? You're like, oh God, this thing has got to end. You know, it's like we need to do something to wrap this up. We did an investigation for some people, and we should have known that this was going to be a night that we were going to regret. We show up and they had a food spread laid out, and they had friends all over. They're all drinking, and I'm like, is this an investigation or is this a paranormal party, right? So we go in as a group. We set up. We're serious about this, right? We go and we set up our DVR, our cameras, and we got all our equipment out. And the people that we did investigate, they're getting hammered, right? They're drunk, right? So finally, it's getting late, and I'm just like, I got to get out of here, right? And so they're all upstairs with the drunk people doing sessions with the EVPs. And finally, I go to the girl who had us come into the house. I said, this is highly unorthodox, but can I do this? And she's like, what? I go, we need to wrap this up. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and now we're just entertainment for people, right? I'm gonna do something to scare the crap out of everybody. She goes, oh, please do. She goes, I've had enough of this. Thank you. So I went, they're up there like asking questions. I creeped up the stairs. I had a pen, a heavy metal pen. And they said, if there's anyone there that would like to communicate with us, please make a sound, make a knock. So I threw the pen up in the air, It bounced off the hardwood floor. Oh my God, they all freaked out. And the woman's like, oh my God, that's Uncle Steve. Steve, I knew he was here. Steve. And they're talking to this, and I'm sitting up there, and the girl who had us come in her house is dying. She's down there laughing, right? And then all of a sudden, I see Pete come walking down the stairs with this look on. It's like, you did that, didn't you? I go, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, all right. Then I look at him on the camera, rewind, look back. He's sitting there. As soon as the pen hit, he's like going like this. Like he knew that I did that, right? Meanwhile, they're looking for their Uncle Steve, right? Asking for Steve to come through. And I'm like, okay, folks, we got to wrap this up. We'll get back to you with our evidence. And I mean, it gets to the point where they were just partying, and we're like, okay, I think we're here more for entertainment than we're actually here to help them with the case,
Man, that's too crazy.
There's other stories, but I just can't tell that. I can't share these stories. They're too twisted, so we'll go with that simple one.
Well, that's awesome, guys, man. Well, tell us a little bit about where can people find you and your podcast, and where you're going to be next.
So our podcast, we're just waiting for you, Rich. Sorry. We're on Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeart Podcast. You can check us out on Facebook. There's no I in shit because Facebook won't let you put shit on there, so it's the creepy SHT we talk about. Instagram, our TikTok's pretty popular.
Yep.
We try to weekly on top of our podcast. We go out and we do different investigations at different haunted places. A lot of cemeteries lately. We just did a Risky Battlefield. We'll be throwing that out tomorrow night. Just a lot of different things. You get a hold of us at creepyshitwetalkabout@gmail.com. If you want to be on our podcast, and we're willing to talk to anyone. We've this season I don't think it's released yet, but we had a UFO experience with a person. Awesome. That was a pretty cool podcast, yeah. And it was verifiable. It was like down in Westchester. Like it was a big deal at the time. So that was pretty cool. We're always looking. Awesome. And then, like I said, we're going to be at Gettysburg Parajam. We have a booth down there, and that's at the end of August.
Sweet. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, man. And then we're hoping we can connect with some of our podcasting friends and do some joint Bigfoot investigations and
definitely
podcast while we're doing it, man.
Heck yeah. I mean, you're in New York. I'm in Rhode Island. I mean, it's only a couple hours away, so it's not far. Yeah. So let's do an investigation. Heck yeah. I'm down.
Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. Let's plan something, man.
We should do a podcast
and like I said,
in the woods. A podcast.
We've done the exact same thing. Yeah, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
That'd be awesome. Bring mics and have a campfire and just talk about paranormal while things are happening.
Dude, he's been listening to our plans. He's been listening to our secret meetings because it's exactly what we talked about. That's awesome.
Great minds think alike, right?
Let's do it. I'm all for it. I love the woods. I'm all about the woods, and I've actually fell asleep in the woods because it's so peaceful.
Oh yeah. I mean it's I live in the country, so behind my house is a park, and it's up right into wooded fields. And I snowmobile up through there all the time throughout the winter, and I come across all kinds of coyotes, everything during the winter too as well. Love to be outdoors, so
yeah.
Let's do it.
I'll have to come on your guys' podcast. We'll have to talk because I do.
Absolutely.
I talk a lot about because I'm a diver and I do a lot of paranormal diving and shipwreck.
No way. That is awesome. And, that's so cool.
Yeah. So it's funny you talked about you went to Hinsdale. I was one of the first divers in that lake because we were looking for a barn that was burnt down that was on the property, and we actually found the burnt pieces that were from that property in the water. It's pretty cool.
Oh, the body of water that's next to the house.
Yeah, which has no visibility, by the way. You can't even see your hand. It was interesting though. It was an interesting experience diving that lake.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Well, our friend Pete, our friend Pete actually saw a small being walk across the trail.
Oh, wow.
When we were over near the lake, we were doing EVP section. It was during the day, so it wasn't a mistaken identity. He said this little imp walked right across the trail in front of the lake. He still to this day swears by it. He can describe it to a T.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I did not see it, but there's a lot of strange things at the
Oh,
Division
yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly there's a woman that walks around the lake too.
I haven't seen her, but
But
that would be cool.
yeah, it's pretty interesting. But yeah, man, let's keep in touch. Let's investigate.
Definitely.
Let's have a podcast in the woods. That would be fun.
All right, let's make it happen.
Sounds good,
man.
Animal. We appreciate it, man.
Heck yeah, brother. Well, thank you so much for popping on the show. I had a lot of fun.
Well, thanks
lot
for
of
having
talks.
us, man.
We got to do it again and have a lot of fun. And thank you everybody for listening on Animal Expedition Files. Again, visit www.animalexpeditionfiles.com. Wow, that was a load to say. And I will be posting this on Spotify, my website, and a whole bunch of other places. So keep a lookout on it. And thank you everybody for catching us on the network. And we will see you later.
Awesome.
Peace, guys.
Take it easy, brother.
Peace.
Lights on.